Right, basically I've welded the patches in. I mean, that was just a big open hole before. So I've painted the rust cure. I've moved to Hammerite crust now. Yeah, the other stuff seems to be a bit, because it's quite cold in here, it doesn't seem to be working overly. It seemed to be creating more, well, I think it's got water base, so it's getting moisture in it. I've got loads more to do underneath, as you can see. So I've only want to do this arch area really and get that in red primer and this bit, and then I can do the primer bit in here. Once that's all dried, I've got a little bit, another plate to put in down there, and put a bit on that. But really, I need to get the fuel tank out. I shouldn't have done the welding with the fuel tank in. I thought I'd be all right here, but behind there, the fuel pipes run up through the bulkhead. We were getting a lot of smoke coming up there. You can see the fuel pipe sticking away. It's not against the bulkhead, but I'd rather get the fuel tank out. I'm in a wooden shed. My house is next door. I don't really want to get a fire. I've got extinguishers. They're the old ones out the rally car. So yeah, just gonna let this dry up, put some red oxide primer on it. Then I'm gonna have a good clean up because it's hanging. I'm gonna jack the car up so I've got plenty of room underneath it, take the fuel tank out, get a bit more prepared. I think I've just sort of jumped into this and got a bit carried away. I haven't really, I shouldn't have put any of this on until I've got a section done. I've just been sort of hit and miss here, so but it looks a bit messy at the moment, but once it's got the red oxide primer on, I'm sure that will tidy it up a bit. Right, this is the crust. It starts blue, then it turns black when it's done its job. So there seems to be a bit of surface rust coming back on it. I'll give it another coat. Then I can get the red primer on it. I've put a coat of red primer on it. I'm gonna have to seam seal it afterwards. Fill up any pinholes. There's a couple about, and smooth out the edges. You know, this is normally I'm doing rally cars, so it's just rip everything out, weld it up. It doesn't really, you know, I'll probably be a bit more, spend a bit more time on a rally car because you get to see everything. This, you just have the carpet back on top of that, and by the time I've put the sealant all around all the welds, then there's a gap there that was thick with sealant before. By the time I've done all the sealant around there, you won't notice that. And inside it's got the carpet over it, so I'm not too fussed about it. But yeah, it's looking better. And inside, back bit and the front bit, I haven't done it all because some of the blue stuff hasn't gone off. So I'll leave that for tonight and come back to it tomorrow. Put the red primer on it, then I can seam seal it again. Right, I've done a bit more to the car. I am quite enthusiastic about it at the moment, which is good. I don't know why, because it's horrible. It's horrible work, but I'm really keen to get stuck into it. I think it's because I've been doing like little sections at a time. That paint's still wet. I've painted over the undersill. There's a little patch down here I still have to do. There's been an issue with the drain where the water drain goes from the sunroof. I think that's what's caused that corner to go in the first place. That was just a bit of rust remover and primer on that, so it wasn't a lot involved. I've just given it a sweep out because everything was getting too dirty. When you start grinding, it just flings up stuff everywhere. Alright, this is all done and finished now, so I'm going to start and take the fuel tank out. I don't want to do any. The next lot I'm going to do is underneath. I don't know if I should be able to see. Yeah, I've got to see what's involved with these. The chassis rails. I think it's just flaky surface rust. It all seems quite solid, so that's what I've got to do. I've got to grind all the rust down. There's bits and pieces all over it, so I've got to grind that down, see what if there's anything that goes through. Hopefully not, and then I can treat it all and prime it, and then it's a bit more involved here. So it's basically, I mean, that's gone. I've got to go back to cut it out to where it's not gone. Same here, whilst retaining, that's quite thick, that. Yeah, retaining the shape. I presume this was all enclosed before. And this bit here seems gone, which I don't know how I'll get access to that. I might have to drop the rear subframe, which needs a good going over. I did do a little bit on it, and it comes up all right, considering how messy it looks. Yeah, that's the back bit. This bit I'm not bothered about. I will cut it all out and make sure there's no rust in it, but it doesn't matter what it looks like. I can just put anything on there to seal it up, because I've got the oversills that are going on that, so that will cover all that up. This all looks all right in here, and then this bit here, so that goes into the boot. This bit here, that's inside the boot. So more of the same really, just take all the rust out and see how far back it's gone. I mean, this is still quite solid, so I'll just cut the rusty bits out. Yeah, all that is pretty gone, and oh yeah, I can put my fingers through underneath. So I've got to sort that out as well. But I'm not starting on the back just yet. Next job's the fuel tank. I'm going to get the fuel tank out. I've got to make it safe. I shouldn't have welded with the fuel tank in, but it was the front of the car. But you know, I still shouldn't have welded with it in. So that's going to come out because this is too close to it. Well, it's just this doesn't take long to get it out. I've got a friend coming at the weekend. This is the 328i. I think it's done 60,000 miles. The engine, and we're going to get it out. That's all the bits that come with it and some of the rubbers. That all goes with the compact, and it's got a diff and whatever, the dash. So we're going to get it out through this door. This door actually comes off, this one. So I don't want to start making this immobile. So I don't want to take the rear beam off. I might just jack it up and take the fuel tank off, and then I could carry on fiddling about with bits and pieces as it goes. But so far, that's like quite a big. I'm quite pleased to have that sorted out. And hopefully, well, I can see the rest of it's not going to be that easy. But saying that, there was bits that looked easy there and turned out to be a lot worse. And because I've not taken it down to the bare metal, I'm presuming that the rest of it's all right. But you can't see inside the sills, and if if I put a coat of paint on that and someone was selling me the car, I'd have a look round and think, it's mint, that is. There's no rust on that. whereas it could have stuff still lurking inside. But you know, what do you do? Where do you start? Where do you stop? It's what I'm trying to do here is, I've got a cheap car, didn't cost me a lot, and I want to not scrap it. If you're going to do a full-on take it down to bare metal, I don't think you'd bother. You just use it as cuts and sell it off, sell the bits off. I don't want to do that. I like the car, I want to keep it. So, and I want a road car rather than a rally car. So I want something with a stereo and seats, and that I can drive and use daily, and it's going to be parked outside. So I don't want to spend so much time that I lose interest, or it just sits in here and nothing gets done. I might be a bit half-hearted with the way I've done it, but it's cutting the rust out and it's getting it done. So that's taken me, I come in here for a couple of hours at a time, so probably 8 hours, I'd say, to get all that done. And you know, if that's, it saves me having to sit in front of Coronation Street that I wouldn't sit in front of anyway. But anyway, that's like chapter 1 of many.